Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make some delicious zucchini boats. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, stay tuned and I'll teach you guys how. For ingredients, we're going to go ahead and use mushrooms. We're also going to use some bell peppers, a yellow onion, cilantro, shredded chicken. I use drumsticks because I felt like they were a whole lot better than chicken breasts, seeing that chicken breasts can be dry at times. These are our zucchinis. And of course our cheese. First, we're gonna go ahead and put our water to boil, and while our water is boiling, we are gonna go ahead and start cutting the tips off of our zucchinis, and then we are just gonna go ahead and cut them right down the middle in the long way. I did go ahead and stand them up, you guys, because I felt like it was a whole lot easier to cut them that way, just because I felt like I was able to cut them more down the middle and not just start down the middle and end up like on either side of the zucchini. So for me, this technique worked great, so I did it with the last three. But if you guys want to go ahead and do it like I did the first one, that is completely fine and completely up to you guys. And after cutting our zucchinis, we're going to go ahead and with a spoon, we are going to start taking out what I like to call the guts of the zucchini. And we are going to go ahead and try to do this as hard as possible to make sure we get it all out. But at the same time, we want to be as gentle as we can so that we don't break the zucchini. It doesn't matter how hard the zucchini feels while it's raw. It is still pretty delicate, and it is a delicate process. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you are doing this as as gentle as you can or as hard as you can, but still with keeping in mind that you can break the zucchini. So we're going to go ahead and repeat the process to all of our 8 pieces until we are done. And you guys do not want to throw away the guts, because the guts are one of the main ingredients for the rest of the ingredients that we are going to be using to stuff our zucchini boats. And this is what your zucchinis should look like after you have taken out the guts. And this is what our guts look like. They do contain a lot of water, you guys, so that is not a bad thing. We're actually going to go ahead and just leave them like that, so that when we get started cooking, we can go ahead and just have a little bit of that water evaporate. Next, we're just going to go ahead and put in our zucchini into our water, and we're going to go ahead and let them boil for about 10 minutes. Within that 10-minute time frame, you guys want to go ahead and make sure that you're checking them every 3 to 4 minutes, just so that you can see how tender or how, crunchy you want them. And while our zucchinis are boiling, we're gonna go ahead and just start chopping up all of our ingredients just to get ahead of ourselves so that we don't have to take longer than we have to go ahead and make this meal. gonna go ahead and throw our guts into a pan that we had sitting with the oil for it to get hot. And we're gonna go ahead and give it a stir. Again, we're gonna go ahead and just let it sit there a little bit. I did explain earlier that the guts do have water in them. So we're gonna go ahead and just let that simmer in there so that the water can evaporate. Some of the water, not all of it. And then we're just gonna let it simmer there. In the meantime, it's been already about 10 minutes, so we're gonna start taking out of our zucchinis from the water and we're gonna drain them out a little bit. You guys wanna make sure that you're gonna do this as gentle as possible because I did have one break on me and that's not what we want. It might happen, it's happened to me a couple of times, but that is completely okay. It's still, you know, useful, you can still eat it and all that stuff. So you guys just want to go ahead and make sure you're being gentle with it because as you guys can see, they can get pretty soft, just like that one that started folding on me almost broke. Thankfully it didn't, just that other one. But we want to go ahead and just make sure that we are doing this as gentle as possible and draining them out as much as we can. After letting it simmer for some time, I want to say about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, you guys definitely have to keep an eye on it so it won't start sticking to your pan. We're going to go ahead and give it a mix, and then we're going to go ahead and start adding the rest of our ingredients, and then we're going to go ahead and let this simmer again for 5 to 10 minutes, keeping an eye on it just so that you can know how crunchy or how soft you want the rest of your vegetables. I don't like mine too crunchy, so mine was simmering for about 7 minutes, but every now and then I came and I gave it a quick stir. So how crunchy or soft you want it is definitely up to you guys. Now it's time to go ahead and add our chicken in there. I also went ahead and started adding my spices. I went ahead and I used the adobo with the complete seasoning. I also used some black pepper and some garlic powder, and also I ended up using a packet of the sazon Goya, which is a orange seasoning, and it's mainly to give my chicken some color to it but also some flavor. But you guys can definitely go ahead and use whatever seasonings that you want. If you just want to go ahead and keep it basic with salt and pepper, that is completely up to you. If you guys want to use anything spicy, that is also completely up to you. Whatever seasonings it is that you guys like to use, you guys can definitely go ahead and incorporate that into this meal. We're just going to go ahead and give this a quick stir so that every single ingredient in this pan can get that flavor of the seasonings, and just to make sure everything is spread out evenly. And then we're going to go ahead and let this simmer for 5 to 7 minutes so that everything can just be flavorful. And now we're just transferring it back to the original dish where the chicken was. And then we are going to go ahead and get started on preparing our zucchinis. we're going to start laying them out and adding the stuffing to it. But before we go ahead and do that, you guys want to go ahead and add a little bit of oil of your choice to your baking sheet, to your baking pan, whatever it is that you're using to bake. And then I am using a paper towel to spread out a little bit of the olive oil that I am using. I went ahead and I wanted to oil it down because I wanted it to be easier later on for washing purposes, just so that the cheese wouldn't stick and burn, and also just to make sure that our zucchini didn't stick on there as well. And now we are laying them out. We're going to lay them out evenly and make sure that we have enough space so that we can go ahead and start stuffing, and then just mainly so we can have enough space so that when we put our cheese, we can know more so where it was that we spread out each zucchini on, so that we don't have to, you know, end up by mistake cutting another zucchini out and all that good stuff. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to cut another one and, you know, just, we want to go ahead and make sure that we're just grabbing one. We're not cutting another one, cutting it in half or anything like that. You guys definitely don't want to be shy stuffing these. You want to make sure they are as stuffed as possible because these can be a single meal. You guys can go ahead and pair it with anything else that you want, whether you want to make some Alfredo next to it or some regular spaghettis, some rice or a salad, whatever the case may be. You guys can definitely go ahead and pair this with it, or you can just go ahead and eat it by itself. If it is by itself, normally you would eat 1 to 2, and they are very, very filling, you guys. I promise. They are so good. This time I chose to make them out of chicken. I normally make them out of chicken and shrimp or just shrimp, but whatever meat you guys want to use, you can definitely go ahead and use it. Now we're going to go ahead and pop them in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes until our cheese is all melted, and you want to make sure that your oven is preheated to 375 degrees. After a good 10 minutes of being in the oven, I went ahead and I took them out, and they are ready to go, you guys. Like I was saying before, you guys can eat this with anything else on the side that you would like, or you can just go ahead and eat these by themselves. If you guys want to make these out of shrimp, out of steak, out of even fish, whatever the case may be, you can go ahead and use that. If you guys just want to go ahead and have them vegan style, that is also okay. That's what I like about this dish. This dish is very, very versatile. You can make this in various forms and it'll still come out really good. It is a very filling meal, and I promise you that you guys will love it. Your kids will love it. You barely even taste the zucchini, and even then, if you did, with the other flavors, it's just so good all together. For today's video, you guys. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up because it really does help me out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.